Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see if we can get everything set here. Okay, let's get the door closed. Get my lumbar support. Okay. Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it is June 26th. Yes, June 26th, 2025. It's a, just go ahead and turn on the, where the heck is my air conditioner? I don't use this that often anymore. Oh, there we are. All right, just to get some airflow in here. So today's June 26, 2025, and I decided since we got a nice little rainy day today, I thought I'd come out here and turn the leaf mold / compost pile and see how things are going here. So I can see there's some temperature there. I just added some compostable materials in here just a few minutes ago. And a week ago, I think it was 1 week ago, I added a lot of grass clippings that I got from my granddaughters. And so that's in here as well. So I'm reaching over blindly on the other side of the leaf mold compost pile here right now. And now, probably 3 weeks ago, maybe even longer ago, I started adding. All right, so 3 to 4 weeks ago, we took the leaves from the insulation that we use for the fig trees, our outdoor fig trees, and gradually I've been adding, as I add materials, whether it's weeds that we get from the gardens or compostable materials. The compostable materials I usually bring out in 5-gallon buckets, and those I go ahead and I'm just looking at everything as I'm going here, and those I usually bury in the pile. I just dig a little hole with my hands, put them into the pile, and on. But the leaves, there were lots of leaves that I moved out here with, I think it was Optimus. I can't remember right now. I don't think I had Mini Me back yet. And the leaves, as I added leaves to the pile, I'd mix some of the already broken down compostable materials. I'm just going to push the tip of this pile back a little bit so I could see a little bit better. But there's lots of weeds. Yeah, and so those are grass clippings right there that I can see. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing right now, is turning the pile. We are getting some rain, so there's things that and the heat wave has taken a break. Really, really fortunate that has settled down. So we'll see lots of stuff in this pile that is not broken down yet. But by mixing this in, this will really help to increase surface contact with all of these different components. So we're mixing things up. And as I mentioned before, it was just about the correct moisture content, but things can dry out when we have these heat waves and all. And as the moisture, the fluid starts getting tipped here some, so I must have gotten into a bunch of leaves and all there. Yeah. And I didn't put down my blade, but I will. So anyways, that's what we're doing right now, is doing this. Really good news for me personally, besides the heat wave being over, is because of the health benefits of coffee. Now, for those of you that don't know, in 2020, I was one of the first people to get COVID, or at least I had it real early on. And boy, did I had some real high fevers and all. And so there's probably some fig roots right there that was just in that bucket. And as a result of that, besides the high fevers and all, one of the issues I did have was I lost taste. And that was, well, that affected my life significantly. My smell and my taste were tremendously affected. And so I ended up stopping drinking coffee. So it's been basically 5 years. Now, I had tried multiple times, even trying to use the most concentrated coffees that I could, but I just couldn't taste coffee. It tasted like dirty water, or dishwater to me is what it tasted like. And so I had given up on drinking coffee, and as a young man, throughout my whole life, coffee was like my staple, one of those things I absolutely needed, I loved. And then all of a sudden, not being able to have that, not just for the kick, the energy kick, but I just really loved black coffee. Just loved it. And so I'm just gonna spread that out a little bit more. And so Thea and I ordered some coffee because she stopped drinking it too, and it really helps Thea out with her lung function, or at least it did years ago. And she hadn't been drinking it, but we ordered some Robusta ground coffee beans, and we're using a pour over method so we can get the most health benefits from the coffee. And I just had my first 2 cups this morning. I'll do the same thing at lunchtime today too. So my goal is to get 4 cups a day into me, and it's so good to be able to taste coffee again. Oh my gosh, huge. Huge benefit for me. So that's one really good, cool thing. By the time this video shows up, you'll see that I posted a video with, hit the wipers here. I posted a video with John bringing loads of gravel. So we've created a gravel pad behind that pad over there in the distance, where the shipping containers are on. And the shipping containers are on a limestone pad. Much more expensive to get that hauled in because we're quite a distance away from the limestone plates, quarries. Really just a fraction getting the bank run gravel. So I got that gravel. John brought in, it was over a 3-day period, load after load, and I got it pretty much set, but I know I need 2 more loads. So I called him yesterday afternoon. So in the next few days, he'll swing by and drop off a couple more loads, which would be awesome. And I know I'm going to need some screen gravel after that, which he is a screener, so he can provide the screen gravel. Then after that settles for a while, that gravel settles, then I'll go ahead and get some limestone to put on top of it. But for now, I started moving some of the wood material over there. So some of the 2x6s that I had salvaged from the building, and then I have a whole bunch of beams and all. But gradually, I want to start moving materials over to there, get the trailers out there as well. So everything gets disrupted. All my spaces to do everything got completely disrupted by the building collapse. The other good thing is Yesterday, I met the new public adjuster. Now, this public adjuster has been doing it for years, and it's still with the National Fire Adjusters. I think it's National Fire Adjusters. Jeez, I'm sorry, I can't remember their name right now. But you really need a public adjuster to help you with the with getting compensated for as much of the things that you have insured, so that you don't get cheated out of what you've been paying into for years. And so I had Michael before, and Michael was the person who was my contact person. But I got to say that communications is so important. So as a clinician, you really always want to be communicating with your clients. As a business person who's providing services, because this isn't a product, this is a service, communication is key. Timely, appropriate communications, being both accurate and timely is just essential for communicating important information. Because as I'm getting information or not getting information from the insurance company, and they have questions for me, I'm responding and sending off, CCing the Michael and all. And so Michael has moved on to, I guess, a higher position with the public adjuster company, which I'm kind of happy that I got Aaron now, and I was quite impressed meeting with him, and I shared my feedback on my experiences so far, and that's one of the things I'll be doing with everybody in my videos, especially as we get to the end of this whole process. And he's been doing this stuff for many years, Aaron has. So pretty excited that I got Aaron. I got a feeling that he's going to communicate with me regularly. Now, I could be completely wrong, but already he responded immediately. So one of the insurance company's independent adjusters, who's been given the responsibility by the insurance company of assessing the individual equipment. So, like the excavator, the track loader, the tractors, the lawnmower, things like that. The BCS tractor, all of my pieces of equipment that I've taken loans out in the last. I'm sorry with the noise of this windshield wiper. All of those pieces of equipment that I have insured independently, in addition to the building and its contents. So this person, Kendra, she seems like a very nice, very competent person who reaches out to me regularly and asks questions. What's the status with getting estimates for the Avant, or for this excavator, or for the track loader, or the Kubotas and all that. And this really does eat up a lot of time, so gradually each one of the Kubotas has either been repaired or replaced, and I did the replacing, but no compensation from the insurance company yet. These are all things that I'm doing, and everything is being left outside right now, which I don't like, because I like keeping all my equipment inside under roof and being protected. And now I have gotten part of a washing station, because I was able to keep everything clean, keep the tracks clean on equipment, pressure wash everything. Well, all of that stuff was taken away as well when the areas where I would do those things were shot. So as soon as I jump around my conversation, so no sooner did I have Kendra reach out to me late yesterday afternoon asking about the Dixie chopper mower. And so I I responded to Kendra saying, geez, I did look around and all around, so I live in Oswego County. Now there's Onondaga County, Oneida County. Those are the counties that are in Cayuga County. Reached out to all these different service places that you would think would take care of mowers and all that. Like we even have one in Fulton, and man, I tell you, so many of the places nowadays, they just aren't good general purpose ones. And of course, I do realize that you really want to have specialty people that are used to working with the brands. You know, if it's a Collier engine versus a Yanmar engine versus a Kubota engine, you know, so on and so forth. You really want to have somebody who's capable and familiar with those particular engines, or you know, and all. And so I had searched all around trying to find someone that could potentially do the repairs on the, bear with me here for a second as I'm thinking as I'm doing this, do the repairs on the Dixie chopper. Well, Dixie chopper was bought out. They were going out of business a few years back, and a new company bought them out. And a lot of the places that did the repairs and you know that sold the Dixie choppers just stopped carrying them and don't do the repairs on them. So I let Kendra know, well, this is a situation, I don't have those. And so I sent off that, and I CC'd Aaron, as I always did with Michael. And first thing this morning, early this morning, it was well before 8 a.m., Aaron asked the question, geez, I know you got the Kubota, but what's the story with the Dixie chopper? Well, Aaron is just getting familiar with the case now. So I let him know that, well, the Dixie chopper was also in the building when it collapsed, and it sustained injury and all, just to make sure that he's on top of things. And it feels so good to get a quick response. It was the first time I've gotten a quick response. You know, I didn't get something like that from Michael. So feeling better about my public adjusters now. Feeling much better. So that's good. That's cool. Okay, I'm just going to reach back a little bit further here. I've got all my equipment stationed right around here. Unfortunately, it's pretty tight, so that's one of the reasons I want to get the gravel set over there. Because I'm right up tight as I'm swinging around. I'm real close to the my rake for Optimus Maximus there. So it's right on the ground behind me, but I had to find spaces, especially when I was getting the clearing the spot and building the pad for the stone, and now the gravel pad back there as well. So good news. I mean, that's a lot of good news over the last 24 hours. I can drink coffee again. Oh, thank God. I have more confidence that someone's really looking out for my best interests and staying on top of the situation and communicating in a timely manner. That's really good. I'm getting gravel delivered to get the other pad set. Lots of good news. And then another thing, well, the earthquake, that walk behind two-wheeled weed whacker that I've got, well, that was in the building too, and I had to do a bunch of repairs on that to get it to work, and I got it to work a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and but you never know when they're getting completely saturated and all. You never know how long the electronics are going to work on them. Now these are old school pieces of equipment, so I had reached out to various people around here to see, geez, does anybody repair these earthquakes? And of course, no one does right around here. and no one knew of anyone else, because each time I'd call a place, well, you know any place that does do it? And I don't know if they're just afraid of the competition, you know, suggesting someone else would work on things. That may be what's going on with the culture nowadays, but it used to be people wouldn't be afraid of. I'm just going to see if I got enough room over here to the side to back up a little bit more. I think I can go back a little bit more here. Of course, I was just... So I couldn't get anyone to help me out with that machine. So I went ahead, I broke it down, took it apart. The fuel lines were damaged, so I had to work on the fuel lines. Now my fuel, I've got brand new fuel lines someplace in one of the bins in my shipping containers. But you think I could find those? I searched for a while through some of the bins, but you know, I just don't have time to search for these sorts of things. But I have some brand new fuel lines in there someplace, and so that's one thing. And I took the recoil apart because it was hung up in there and getting rusty, lubricated that, it got it to work. I don't know how long that's going to work because there is some rust. I cleaned it off, but you know how the recoil gets. That may get completely shot before too long. But anyways, I spent probably 3 hours working on it, another 4 hours searching, not 4 hours, probably 2 hours searching for parts and all, because I have extra recoils. So anyways, I got the machine working. So I took it over. As I mentioned before, my granddaughters have moved into the property that our new property, at the back of our property here, where Carol used to rent from us. And so the grass is real high over there. The weeds are real high over there. And so I brought that over to them. And then I got the word, you know, they were using it, was working great, they love it. And they're using it to do the initial knockdown, not necessarily for going around and just doing weeds, for actually taking down the lawn, which is like a hay or weed lot right now. And but they said it wasn't working, so I brought it over. I spent about an hour and a half working on it, and I could get it to fire up. So it was getting fuel, it was getting a good spark. If I gave it a shot of ether, it would fire right up. So long story short, I ended up ordering a new carburetor for it, and that came in last night. So yesterday afternoon it came in. And so last night when things cooled down some, I went out and after dinner, I went out and I went ahead and trying to be real careful not to dig into the subsurface ground here as I'm doing this. And so last night I went out and put the new carburetor on. This morning I decided, well, let's test it out and see if it's going to work. Fired up beautifully. And then took it up front and did some whacking of stuff. Now nothing's been mowed or whacked down up around the top of the property up there where the entrance area is to our driveway. And I did some of the columns and some of the other areas, and it worked beautifully. I'm sure it's going to break down again this season. You know, when you have so much damage to it, but it's just how things work out. But it's working right now, so I just dropped it off at my granddaughters. They're excited to see that. So the first day without any rain, I think they'll probably be out there using it. I've got a lot more to do here, but I wanted them to be able to have that so they could try and knock down some more stuff. When we got the gravel delivered by John, I went ahead and started taking some of that and filling in some of the low spots that always get wet. Now I've used the sand that I've been able to excavate out as I'm digging the ponds or whatever, because I've got some sand, just like that pile directly across from us there. I've got another pile of sand down and back. But the thing is, with our rains and all, and then you're driving through with the track machine, the sand doesn't hold up in the roadway, and then it creates these huge puddles and all. So I can't really drive the mower over there, given how things are right now. So there's some of that's one of the fig trees that I dug up accidentally when I was digging out the leaves and all. So some of that stuff will break down bit by bit there. So overall, I guess having a really good day today. I love the good communications. Feels optimistic. Getting a little bit of rain today, so I feel like it's an excellent time to come down here and turn the leaf mold compost pile. This is awesome. And I can taste coffee again. Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about. I guess I was a coffee addict for many years. I worked so many hours and slept so few hours that coffee really did help out. Kind of abused it some because you really shouldn't be subjecting yourself to losing that good restful sleep, as I did do. But man, I gotta tell you, it's great being able to drink coffee again. So, someplace along in here, I'll put some footage of the earthquake weed whacker working. For a place like in the country like we have, and I don't, I'm not out using a weed whacker all the time, and I don't know if our Ego weed whacker is going to work yet. That's a battery operated weed whacker, and I've had to work on our batteries. Our Ego batteries are definitely not up to par. Once these things really get wet, and of course they got frozen too with all the moisture in them. So some of the batteries, and I got to start labeling them. They'll go ahead and they'll give me a bold red mark, and suddenly die, even though that it may be fully charged. It's going to give me an error. Well, that's the error, and not working. Fortunately, I've got one really good charger that does seem to be working, and that one will recharge it. The other two chargers I've got are the standard ones that you get when you buy one of the Ego power tools, but they've got one that's I don't know, I'm going to call it more of a battery conditioner, I'm guessing. Those folks that are familiar with the Ego products probably know what I'm talking about. But that one will recharge it, but it won't, and you can do a little factory reset with it as well. So I've done the factory reset in every one of the batteries, but I'm having troubles with some of them. I just got to get to the point where I'm marking them and keep track of how many times I've had to reset them, each one. Whether it's weeds or grass clippings, like I would never do the grass clippings, but these were all weeds that were up, and they used the earthquake weed whacker. My granddaughters would. But the places that they've already got done that they're doing mowing now, are just mulching it right into the ground, which is preferable, so the soil will really do beautifully. Yesterday I did take the Skydio 2 up to get I'm going to call it a quick overview of the area. You know, unfortunately I lost communication with it twice, because I was over there where I just did the gravel bed under the tree, the gravel bed. The gravel pad behind the stone pad, and I was over there in the shade because it's pretty darn hot here lately. And so I brought the Skydio 2 up, flew it up over where the workshop area is, and I was just going to do a quick fly around of the homestead. But as soon as I got up by pond 1, lost communication. So when it loses communication, it flies back to the launch spot. Then it regained communication, so I continued the flight, and then I took it down, flew around here a little bit, and then took it back down to the beaver ponds, and lost connection there again. This is a Skydio 2, and that's a few years old now. I really like it, but you know, unfortunately, Skydio isn't making more consumer branded, consumer targeted units, because I really like them. And I don't feel that good about DJI. Now, the microphone I'm using here is a DJI microphone, and I have nothing against China products. Years ago, I had troubles with one of their DJI drones, and man, I just had terrible customer experience. So I really don't want to use too many of their products. So now I'm just trying to put enough of trying to cover up some of this cover up some of the clippings here. So that's not too bad. Got a nice pile. The whole area looks pretty good. So I've got to get the rake moved, the land plane moved. I got all the firewood moved. I got the soil conditioner. I haven't used that yet, but I'd like to get some of these areas mowed again. And I may do some mowing today since it's not raining very much at all. But I never know just how things are going to go. It's a steady, low, gradual amount of rain. No downpours or anything like that. So on level areas, I probably can get some things mowed. I'll get wet, but that's life. It's just how things will work. Okay, let's put this puppy down. Thank goodness for Elon. Elon is functioning. We got everything working. So I think what's going to show up in the rest of this video is just some of the earthquake, me using that in case you're interested in that. So we did the leaf mold pile today, caught you up on some of the things that are going on in my life, our lives and all. Thea's real happy with the coffee too. She had a little pick-me-up this morning, so we'll see how things go. So that's it for today's video, folks. I hope you enjoy it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. Stay safe and take care. Bye-bye now. So my earthquake, which is a small weed whacker, large wheeled weed whacker that I've been using for the last few years, has always been really, really fantastic. But it got, it was in the workshop when it collapsed, and so I ended up taking apart the the recoil on it and replacing the fuel lines on it, and jerry-rigging a different cable for it after the collapse, and it worked. And I let my granddaughters use it for a while, and they came back and said, geez, it stopped working. So I ended up ordering a new carburetor, and I installed that last night, and it fired up last night. So I'm going to give it a test now and see how things are going to work. Hopefully it's going to work, because this is a real good machine, and it really helps when your weeds get tall and all.
Out by the trees where the piles grow high, last year's leaves still layered and dry. We fire up the loader, call on Elon to start the turning like we always do. We mix in weeds and kitchen scraps, the rinds, the stems, the paper wraps. Bit by bit we fold it through, a recipe old but always new. We're turning gold from the ground, where the forest floor wisdom's found. With every scoop and earthy blend, we give the soil a helping hand to mend. No plastic bags, no chemicals near, just compost and care, year after year. In the fall, we gather leaves again, piled high by the forest, dry from the wind. Blankets for figs through winter's night, and back to the pile by springtime light. We add them to the cover crop greens, a living layer in the garden scenes. From food forest floor to garden rows, this is the way true growing goes. We're turning gold from the ground, where the cycles of life come back around. From waste to wealth, from brown to black, we feed the roots and they give it back. No shortcuts here, just nature's way, building soil with each new day. I watch the steam rise when we break that heat, a living brew that's dark and deep. It's more than mulch or dirt or clay, it's tomorrow's harvest underway. We're turning gold